Oxford from the inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth.
Hey guys, welcome to Oxford from the Inside, the good, the bad, but always the truth. Today we're here with Junaid. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on this podcast every time I'm on. I am Junaid. I have just finished my third year studying medicine at Trinity College, and my pronouns are he, him.
Nice. So today we've got a new quickfire question, quite relevant for around this time of the year for those students who are thinking about the admissions process and their UCAS, etc., etc. So, Junaid, what do you find, or what did you find was the most stressful part of the admissions process?
So I guess I'd start by saying just to pay my respects to the process and everyone going through it right now. The whole thing, is pretty stressful. Um, so solidarity to people going through it. But I'd say, well, just to give a breakdown of for medicine, the different things involved. You've got your entrance tests, then your personal statement interview, and then finally, of course, your A levels, which will be the same for most, or at least a lot of students applying to Oxbridge, but not the case for all universities. But medicine is one of those things where you have an entrance test and an interview for, I think, the majority of universities you apply to. So in that sense, considering all those things together, I would say that the admissions tests, I think, were the most stressful part for me. So you've got, just again, to give a big breakdown into all the wonderful things that medicine, applying to medicine involves. You've got the UCAT, which is the admissions test that isn't used by Oxbridge and is more sort of like sort of similar to an IQ test and is something that you organize by yourself at a test center that's near you, much in the way you would for a driving theory test in the UK. And then there's the BMAT, which is the one that Oxbridge does look at, and I think some London universities as well. And that one is done like a sort of ordinary exam that your school will organize, or it's something you might have to talk to your school about, depending on how many people you have sitting the exam. But overall, both of them are things that you haven't really done before. For me, it was, and I think for most people, it's a very new experience because prior to this, you've done your GCSEs, which are content that you learn and then sort of regurgitate, or in the best cases, apply in an exam. But this is different. It's not supposed to be as practicable as other parts of the sort of education system as a whole. So I think, yeah, as it is sort of a new challenge, I did find this the most daunting.
Nice. Yeah, thank you for giving us a breakdown of what the admissions process is a bit like for medicine, as yeah, the tests at least definitely do differ. What was it about? Was it the BMAT, the test itself, that was stressful? Or do you feel like you would have been stressed, or that you would have found it stressful whatever admissions test it was?
I think with the BMAT specifically, staying on brand as Oxford from the inside, there is the idea that there's a lot riding on it, I suppose, because it's your BMAT and your GCSEs that decide basically whether you get an interview. So it feels a lot like, it can feel like a lot of pressure because whether you get an interview is basically decided on that one exam that you've had limited experience trying to grapple with. Yeah, so I'd say it's the sort of importance of it in the admissions sort of system that makes it stressful.
Do you know, like, it's fine if you don't, because like, I don't know how many students know, the information that much, but do a prospective students' predicted A-level grades come into the decision process for medicine?
So there's a handy webpage about this. They have I think quite detailed information online about how they calculate like a certain score with your BMAT and your GCSEs, your contextualized GCSEs, that is, to decide interview. And then they claim that everything your predicted grades, your personal statement, etc., will come, and your interview performance, of course, will come after that point. That's what they say. I of course don't know exactly what it is. I mean, I suppose the university has the freedom to do whatever it wants to, but that is what they declare they do on the website, and we can link that in the description.
Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, just for anyone listening, that's very specific to medicine. If I don't know off the top of my head, but if they say that for other subjects, when they're choosing people for interview, they look at all the information, then it's very safely to presume that they do look at all the information, because it might subtly differ between subject by subject, partially because the tests will be different and the subjects are different, and etc. etc. They'll be looking for different things. What was I going to say? So would you say that, because you said that one of the stressful things about the test is that students don't have much experience with it, you don't have that much time to prepare for the BMAT. Would you think that the admissions process experience would be less stressful, like if someone was to do it after A levels when they had more time, or when they had more time to practice it? Or do you know anyone who's doing medicine that applied after doing their A levels, etc.?
That's a good question. I actually don't. And I do know of people who do that, but I haven't asked them about how they found the experience. In my experience, it's quite tough to balance everything. I've often said, like, year 13 and indeed the end of year 12 feels like just endless hurdles that you have to sort of jump over, because you've got your UK CAT preparation, which I think, which will be before your BMAT, and then you've got your personal statement, and then the BMAT, and then you probably have mocks at that point for A levels. Who knows? So yeah, having some dedicated free time for it would, I can see that definitely being useful, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessary. I think year 13 is a struggle anyway in terms of time management. So in some ways, it's like, what's one more thing, right? that you have to try and balance with everything else. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, I personally definitely wouldn't discourage anyone from applying in their year 13 if they want to, for sure. Or I remember our tutor back in sixth form used to really encourage students, if they thought the course was perfect for them, that and they weren't to be successful in the first time, they should, if they want to, there's nothing wrong with trying again, because for those admissions tests, they would have a lot more time. And I can't remember what the stat was, but I remember him being very positive about medics who didn't get an offer from any of their unis, tended to do much better statistically if they reapplied. And I guess one of those reasons would be that you'd have multiple months of no A levels and time to do the BMAT if you wish to do so. All right, so we're coming towards the end of the podcast. Junaid, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'd just like to end on a sort of positive note. It is, I mean, at the same time, we're here at Oxford from the inside, the good, the bad, but always the truth. It's stressful. That is the truth. But what I like to sort of remind myself was that, you're going through it, and that's something that so many people before you have also gone through and successfully got through. Sometimes during your preparation you might get a score on a mock test that you don't like. You might even, I think I actually got my actual BMAT score and wasn't happy with it, just because it wasn't the sort of numbers that I was used to seeing from my practices. But still, even though you sort of have these moments of stress, you can still definitely get into the university you want to get into, or even another university, and still pursue the same course that you want to. So hang in there. It's tough, but I wish everyone listening and watching every success.
Amazing. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Junaid, for sharing your experiences of your admissions process. And thank you for the listeners for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or your podcasting platform. We hope you guys stay safe, enjoying the summer, and we'll see you guys next time.